A number of things. First of all, Kentucky was terrific tonight, very explosive. We couldn't really defend them anyway. Their size, athletic ability, shooting ability, they shoot 42% from three, 59% overall, and we just couldn't guard them. I thought the first team to 80 would win, but we didn't score. We played totally out of character on offense, and that impacted our defense, which unfortunately is a weakness of ours. And some of it I thought had to do with a little bit of foul trouble and the frustration our guys felt because they were sitting on the bench anxious to get back in when Norshad O'Meara only plays 8 minutes in the first half and Bensley Joseph plays only 6 minutes in the first half. And that's two of our really critical guys, Bensley defensively and Norshad and everything, especially rebounding. So credit to them, and we're going to have to go back to Miami and get ready for our next one.
If you have questions, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you.
Jim, at the start, you mentioned about the difficulties of trying to contain Kentucky's offense. Just where do you think that went wrong for you guys tonight?
Well, it's the same issue we've had in our first 5 games too, but we were able to outscore the opponent. We really, we're not very tall, as you can tell. I think they probably 3 or 4 inches at the point guard position, 5 or 6 inches at the 2 guard spot, 3 or 4 inches at the 3, 2 or 3 inches at the 4, and 5 inches at the 5. I mean, we're small, which means that we must play very good offense and score the ball regularly, and then really try to help each other defensively. And we didn't do either. We didn't score the ball well enough, and we didn't guard them at all.
How difficult is it to counter when they can bring in 2 guys like Reed Shepherd and Rob Dillingham, and they're coming in off the bench in that first 3 or 4 minutes and give them a little bit different look?
You think those guys are pretty good? I'd say those 2 guys are, Reed ended up starting in the second half. I mean, those 2 NBA guys, I mean, they're terrific college players, but they'll play beyond for sure. They can shoot it, they handle it, they defend it, they share it extremely well. And I think that's what's impressive about Kentucky's offense is how well they share the ball. They had 26 assists. We had 8. It's not a good stat for us.
Yeah, kind of bouncing off that, just a little bit more on Reed and his night tonight. What really just makes him so difficult to stop offensively?
He's so good at everything. I mean, he can shoot it, he can handle it, he can pass it, and he finds the open man great, and he defends. You might look at him and think that, okay, he's not that athletic, but you try to score on him. He's moving his feet and using his hands and doing a great job at the defensive end of the floor as well. He comes up with a lot of deflections and steals. He had 4 assists and 1 turnover, and then Dillingham had 9 assists and no turnovers. That's a pretty good night from your bench. They don't start.
Jim, you mentioned you guys were kind of out of character offensively. Well, what did Kentucky do, if anything, to kind of take Nigel Pack out of a rhythm after having 28 his last time out?
It wasn't Nigel Pack. It was our team. I think the hype of the game and the crowd, our guys wanted to play well individually. Hey, I want to have a good game. And as a result, you can't win individually. Kentucky showed us that's the facts. You got to share the ball and find the open man and get assists. That's what they did. That's what we didn't do.
You talked a little about there about the crowd and the guys wanting to play, but when you're trying, you mentioned you're already struggling on defense. But how hard is it to keep Kentucky down when the crowd was that loud?
Say it again.
How hard was it to keep Kentucky down when the crowd was that loud every time they would seem to do anything?
Well, we didn't figure out a way to do it. I don't know how many teams will when they come here. But I watch their other games, and there are times like in the St. Joe game, St. Joe was able to score with them, take the game into overtime, and play really, really well. But there'll be teams like that, but especially if you're big enough. We couldn't keep them out of the lane. I don't know what they shot on layups and dunks, but far more than we've given up in years.
Anyone else?
Jim, you've known John Calipari for a long time, and he's kind of admitted to all of us that he's changed his system. He's playing this random style of basketball.
He's what?
He's changed his system, playing this random style of basketball. How hard is it for a head coach to kind of change philosophies and just kind of flip the switch like that?
Well, I was looking at the game notes, and this was before the game, and I read the list of NBA players that he has, that he's coached here, all these NBA All-Stars and stuff. So I would say this: Cal could change his style every year, but it's going to work because he's got so many terrific players that, the players make the coach. I mean, you have as many good players as he has, he's going to have a lot of success. If you don't have very good players, you're going to struggle. I'm fortunate in my years at Miami, we've had a lot of good players and have been able to compete at a high level. But he's got that kind of talent every year.
Anyone else? Okay.
I just want to ask, is this a game, are you able to take a lot from it in terms of what you need to get better at, or is this one where you just basically burn the film immediately and move on?
No, we've got to learn from it. We've got to understand what we did and what we didn't do. But, one thing I told the team beforehand, I was a little surprised. The crowd is great, so my hat's off to them. But they booed me. They booed me before the game. What did I do to deserve that? That's the first time I've ever been booed. So tell them, be polite. Teams are going to come in here. You're going to kick their butt. You're going to boo them like they're bad people? No. They're nice people. We're nice. See ya.
Thanks, Coach.